What's up, witches? This is Eisen. I gotta say though, this whole quarantine thing has gotten so much better once the protests came. We had a Black Lives Matter protest, and that was a good frickin' time. You know why? Because I was able to see the homies. And that's honestly what's good. That day had me frickin' pumped. Because it had everything. It had a reason to get up, reason to get dressed, something to actually get dressed for, not even fake yourself into thinking it was an event. It was a real event. People I actually knew were there. It was just wonderful, really. But the protest had a way to become famous, as it were, locally. But thing is, they all decided they wanted to go for a protest walk by the time my 5-HTP kicked in. So I was left unable to say my piece on what I thought the world needed. In my town, population is mostly white people. Surprise, surprise, frickin' mostly white people were getting up to speak. So I wouldn't have been out of place there. And they were all doing it for frickin' all the other races too, because that's what the whole movement's about. They weren't just there to frick around and say, oh man, you guys, you gotta make yourselves not as easy to be killed, dog. It was white people using their frickin' whitey powers for justice, right? Frickin' letting other white people know what they could do to help minorities. Because that's really what it is, right? It can't always be minorities sticking up for themselves. We gotta have other people that make it seem less weird to be a minority. Just like with the LGBT, because once being called gay on Xbox is no longer a diss, and it's just a thing that happens to people, the world, you could say, is objectively not homophobic anymore. I'm just frickin' twisting it like a jack-in-the-box. Except I don't feel like this will make any other noises than the sound of hair coming apart. And what's gonna pop up? Split ends or something? Yeah, the protest was fun and empowering, and it had a bunch of frickin' homies. That's what I really missed throughout this whole thing. As I've said in my other quarantine videos, I thought there was gonna be more people that wanted to chill with me in this dark hour, but nobody really did. There have not been a lot of people. There's been way more frickin' now that I made another friend. That's frickin' good though. I needed to make some new friends. You know your social life is bad when you can't even frickin' find one person who wants to chill with you, 6 feet apart in the yard or something, or go and sit at the beach and frickin' whatever. I mean, there's tons of ways that you can avoid getting COVID. It's frickin' easy. Just don't smooch people. Don't be close to them. It was unfortunate that it had to come to this point for me to get another homie, but that's life. It's just like falling in love. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. So you can't really be down on yourself unless it's strictly your fault that you haven't found somebody to chill with, right? If you were the type of person that says, I don't want to go to clubs, man. I don't want to do a damn thing. I'm just going to sit here in my room and cry about it. And post all over social media what I want every day for weeks on end. Because that is a sad life. But once I get home, I'll be going through my predictions for what I thought about would happen by this point. Halfway through this quarantine, I was thinking to myself, one good thing that's going to come out of this is the documentaries. I'm a frickin' freak when it comes to documentaries. Look at how easy that is coming out. Frick. People not being at work is gonna frick up the whole economy and whatnot, and it already has, and government bailouts and frickin' whatever the hell, all this stuff that my dad knows about, all these things he talks about that I don't understand yet because I'm just 20 years old and I don't even have a job right now. It'll make for really intricate and interesting documentary, because this is the first time any of this has happened since Spanish flu or whatever the hell. I gotta say, we did pretty good on it. Over half the people at that protest were wearing masks. I had forgotten mine, but I do have one, and I do make them. Not that anybody really wants to buy one off me. People don't really give a crap. I mean, they sell them at Walmart now that you don't even have to get somebody to make you one, which is just appalling. I mean, come on. There are local businesses trying to make money off of frickin' Craigslist little old ladies who want to sell you a freaking mask, and Walmart be like, bro, you don't even have to call the old ladies. That's not what we want, bro. Get it through your mind. Everybody knows somebody's sweet with a sewing machine that's just trying to get you what you need. I want somebody around me that gives me the feeling that I get when I'm in Vancouver and I see a new type of vending machine, or I get to ride in a car that was made after 2006. You know, just things that are frickin', I don't know how to say it even, frickin' salt of the earth, just new, wacky things and experiences that everybody gets to have, I guess. I want to feel, you know, new and snazzy emotions. All that city stuff, really. You know, things that you can only feel in your everyday life if you're on drugs. And trust me, I have been on drugs through a quarantine. I'll never do a damn SSRI or STD or whatever the hell. But quarantine also wrecked me up because I feel like there are a lot of things that have to be said in the world. And having nobody around makes it so that I can't say anything to anyone. If I can't go and tell people how the frick the world works, right? You know, that's just what I'm used to. That's what I grew up listening to, is my dad talking about how the world works and how people should behave. And no matter how off color somebody gets when they're telling you how the world works, at least you got a different perspective, right? Sometimes I enjoy hearing crazy people talk on YouTube and stuff. I like listening to people that are just kind of nuts. You know, they've got an idea, but it's not exactly a good one. And I want to hear what they think, you know, because there's something to frickin' be gained from what they're... And you can't get any of that from frickin' anything else around you but people. I'm sure cats have frickin' deep thoughts, but we're not going to be able to get that out of them because we don't have the technology. We don't have the knowledge of frickin' how to test cats. Cat testing is something that's really widely not known. Because I tried to look up whether cats or dogs are smarter, and it turns out we frickin' don't know, because cats are hard as hell to test. Cats be like, ooh, yeah, I'm just not gonna sit here and do what you tell me. That's just that type of animal. I don't frickin'... If I were an animal, and some kind of other species just put me in a room and said, hey bro, do this thing that we want you to do, I'd say, frick off. I'm just an animal. I'm just gonna nibble you, dog. But I'm sure glad quarantine is pretty much over, and I think the idea of, if you want to be a complete goof about it, the frickin' new normal in some circumstances is okay. Yeah, I agree that people in clinics should be wearing masks. Well, the more you know about them and the more you see in there, the more disgusting it becomes to you. Sure, some of them are little kids getting their shots for the first time. I've seen babies go in. I've seen young children frickin' get their blood taken and they scream like hell even though it was no big deal. You show a child blood, right? But then there's also people with stuff all over their faces and throwing up and frickin' overdosing. We should have masks in big crowds if you're sick. I don't disagree with that. And if you want to see somebody's face, you know, if you want to talk to somebody and see if they're actually hot or not under those masks and sunglasses, right? You could just talk to them. I mean, it's not a big deal, right? And if you're crying about it, you're just making some kind of problem out of nothing, right? It's just kind of nuts. Because I've seen that critical video of that lady frickin' crying in her car, and everyone in the comments is making fun of her. But the messed up part of that matter is that it is fricking hard to go about life doing nothing. But right now, since the protest, I've just been having an awesome time. I've been dressing up. I had nothing to do yesterday. I had nowhere to go. I wasn't doing anything. But it was still nice to ride off the high that yesterday gave me. Whether or not that high was induced by 5-HTP. It was a rejuvenating little time, you know? Went and seen my homie there. We had some ice cream, and it was a frickin' good time. Look at that, it's just coming right out. I just didn't want to waste this frickin' hair tie, right? Because I don't use these things, my mom does. These things are definitely made out of some type of plastic, so I would not be doing the world a favor there. Oh, look at that. Look at that. I'm not even on drugs right now, and I'm just feeling so good about where I'm at in life right now.